What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Hopefully y'all have seen my Titan exotics that we're bringing into Nightfall with us. Today we'll be going over the hunter side of things, going over another set for y'all with warlocks next, so make sure to go check out that Titan video. We also did a nice set for legendary and exotic weapons that we brought into Lightfall with us for a little prep for y'all getting ready for this huge expansion. But getting right into it, for our hunter exotics, we got the GRAVITON FORFEIT exotic helmet right here with Vanishing Shadow. Increases the duration of invisibility effects while you are invisible. Our melee recharges faster, our weapons reload faster, and our recovery is greatly increased. So this thing is super nice for that end game activity with some pretty gnarly ability to stay invisible for a super long time, especially with some of those aspects and fragments that we have for our Void Hunters, being able to stack that to a certain point as well. So this thing, very good for endgame and keeping your fire team alive by being able to go invisible for so long, grab those reses, whatever it may be. Plus you get those perks with the faster melee recovery as well as just your recovery in general to keep yourself alive. Next on my list is one of my favorite exotic helmets, the Assassin's Cowl with Vanishing Execution. So powered melee final blows grant invisibility and restore a portion of our health and shields. Finishers and final blows against more powerful targets increase the duration of invisibility and the amount of health that we get restored. So this thing pairs very well with all of our subclasses. So when we get those powered melee final blows or finishers, we can go invisible, plus we get health back. Pairs well, in my personal opinion, with arc and that nice crazy dodge melee where we can get jolt and it chains to other enemies. So it's very good for some end game activity. Plus, even with something like stasis or solar with our knives and our shurikens, you can do a little farther distance invisibility with it instead of having to get up close and personal. So definitely one of my favorite exotics for hunter. Next up on my list is a very easy exotic to use, the Shards of GALANOR, which pair with our Blade Barrage Solar Super. With that sharp edges, hits and kills with Blade Barrage, return super energy after your super ends. These used to be absolutely busted when they first came out. You were able to get so much super energy back, which they did nerf it a little bit, but when you are hitting every single one of your Blade Barrage knives, especially with our new aspects and fragments, that gives us that nice juicy extra bullets for the Blade Barrage, as well as that tracking ability in our fragment. Very easy to hit all of your blades, which does refund a good amount of energy. And when we have Harmonic Siphon with that Scorch and Incandescent going on, we're able to pick up orbs, get 100 intellect, and we're able to get a lot of Blade Barrages popped and do a lot of damage on enemies and do that ad clear very well. So definitely bringing this bad boy with me into Lightfall. Next up, another little exotic here for the Gauntlet side with Liar's Handshake that pairs with our Arc subclass. So cross counter using melee arc ability or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counter punch that heals you. So it pairs super well with that dodge combination blow, so you can stack that up to ×3 with melee damage and Gambler's Dodge, so you can repeatedly get your melee back, dodge, get your melee back, dodge, get your melee back, dodge, so you can just continuously cross counter as well as that arc damage. So it's a very useful build to have Liar's Handshake with that arc melee. Moving on to our first chess piece right here with the GYRFALCON'S HAUBERK, a nice Void Synergy chess piece. So see me, feel me, your Void weapons gain volatile rounds after we immerse emerge from being invisible. While we are invisible and defeat combatants with a finisher, all of our weapons gain bonus damage. You and your nearby allies gain reserve overshield and improved class ability regeneration. These reserve overshields can be deployed by using your class ability, so when we dodge again, we get that overshield. And with this and Stylist Executioner in our aspect for Void, we're able to basically stay invisible continuously because volatile rounds proc our Stylish Executioner to allow us to go invisible again, which allows us to then proc this chest piece exotic perk, and it's just a nice positive feedback loop. So this thing does some pretty crazy stuff, especially I'm sure you've seen Retrofit Escapade, that nice Void LMG that we have from this season, crafted with 4th times the charm and target lock. Does some pretty crazy stuff, even though volatility is getting a little nerf and everything's getting changed. But this is a very, very good chess piece in my opinion, just in general, personally, just because you're able to go volatile, invisible, volatile, invisible, volatile, invisible, just with a weapon. So very, very useful in my opinion. Next off, another little synergy for Void with Orpheus Rigs provides ability energy for each target defeated with Tether by Deadfall anchors. Mobius Quiver has an additional shot, so this pairs with our Tether very, very well. With that Mobius Quiver, with our 3-shot version, we're able to do some nice gnarly damage with it because of that extra shot on it. And then Deadfall, when you are getting nice ad clear with that and a lot of defeats, you get refund a lot of your super, kind of like Shards of Galanor with our Blade Barrage and Solar. This is a very similar effect with our Tether and Void subclass. And last but certainly not least, one of my favorite looking exotics, the Star Eater Scales, which I think are going to be even more meta inside of Lightfall because of the changes to our power system and how our mods work, where it's more focused on orbs of power. So these things are going to be able to get its exotic perk to proc more consistently, since there aren't going to be people using wells instead of orbs. So very curious to see how something like this works. But Feast of Light, we gain additional super energy from orbs of power, allowing us to get our super faster. And while our super energy is full, if we pick up orbs of power, it overcharges our super to ×4, causing some nice crazy damage and healing when we cast our super. So we do the most damage with this exotic on for Gathering Storm as well as Blade Barrage. Even though Blade Barrage with Shards gives us some energy back, this does more damage just because of that charged Feast of Light ×4. So it is very, very good for damage, and I think it's going to be even better because of the ease of picking up those orbs of power inside of Lightfall. So hopefully, again, y'all can get to grinding and get some of these exotics with some nice, decent rolls. Get to running those lost sectors towards the end of the season here, so you can get some bangers and take these guys into Lightfall. So thank you guys again for watching. Truly appreciate. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.